First off, I just talked to Isaiah in the hallway a little bit, and he gave me a scouting report on Goran and Eric and himself.
Okay.
And so what I was wanting to see is see it like one of those matching answers games,
Okay.
and see what your scouting report matched up with Isaiah's. So maybe you could give me a quick scouting report on the three of them.
You talking about in terms of how they'll work as a group?
No, individually, like
Okay.
if you were trying to give a scouting report.
Okay. Well, Goran and Eric, we know, the fans know very well. Goran, his ability to attack the basket, especially in transition, stands out. He pushes the ball as well as anybody in the league. He's fearless going to the basket. He had an unbelievable year shooting the ball last year. He was extremely efficient. He's just kind of the heart and soul of our team in a lot of ways. Just the passion and fire he plays with, I think, is infectious. Eric, I think, has the potential to be one of the best two-way guards, best two-way players in the entire league. His ability to defend the ball with his length and strength and agility is really impressive. He's a terrific pick and roll player. I think he learned a lot from Chris Paul in terms of how to stop and start and get defenders off balance. He's a guy who breaks down the defense, creates a lot of good shots for himself and for other teammates, So, you saw how well those guys played together last year. And then Isaiah is a guy who's been extremely efficient. He's a guy that we're always scared of when we were playing against Sacramento. We preferred it when he was on the bench rather than on the court. And he'd come in and just change the game. At 5'9", he doesn't look the part, but he's just so efficient. And he's a self-made player. I mean, nothing was ever given to Isaiah. He's earned this every step of the way. And there are only a handful of guys in the league last year who averaged 20 points to 6 assists a game, and to do that as efficiently as he did was impressive. And so we feel like we'll blend those guys together, and we think that what was probably our greatest strength last year, which was our backcourt play, became an even greater strength.
So as a trio then, what do you think of the strengths overall of rolling out a lineup like that, and any weaknesses they might have?
I think the greatest strengths are the ability to get good shots for themselves and their teammates. And the hardest thing to find in the NBA is a guy who can create shots for himself and others, and who allows your team to score efficiently. And a lot of guys can do it in terms of volume or low efficiency, but that's not how you win games. So if you look at the numbers, Goran and Eric were very efficient last year, as was Isaiah. So I think our guards make everybody else better. I mean, they're three darn good players in their own rights, but they get good shots for P.J. Tucker and Marcus Morris and Markieff Morris, and throw to the rim to Alex and Miles for lobs and dunks and all that. It just makes everything so much easier offensively. So I feel like that'll be our greatest strength. Is we'll have one or two of those guys on the court pretty much at all times. They know how to create shots. They all have run teams individually. And it's going to be hard for defenses. You can't really, I think, load up on the strong side too much, or just try to trap the guy with the ball and take it out of his hands. Because if that's the case, we can reverse it or skip it, and then the other guy can attack from the weak side. So, those are the strengths. Weaknesses, I'd say if I had to pick one, we're a little small defensively. Isaiah's 5'9", Eric's about 6'1", Goran's about 6'3" or 4. So. If there is a team with a dominant or a big, two guard who can post up and beat us repeatedly, then that could be a weakness. But honestly, I don't know who that guy is, and I hope I don't regret saying this. But as you look around the league, I don't know who would do that. And also, we do still have Gerald Green, plays a lot of shooting guard. We have Marcus Morris, who's more of a small forward, but we do have some perimeter size to put on a guy if he gets going, and we're overpowered with size or strength on the block or whatever. So I feel like we don't have a whole lot of holes in our backcourt, and I feel like it's one of the deepest, if not the deepest, in the league right now.
And you lost Channing, but with some of the signings you've made and some of the improvement players have made from last year with three-point shooting, and even Isaiah, he was shooting about 40% before he had his left wrist injury last year that he had taken care of in the offseason. Do you think there's a chance that the team actually might be a better three-point shooting team this coming year?
I think it could be. Yeah, I do think it could be. If you look at the numbers, I think we return our top 4 percentage guys from last year. I don't know if it's in order or not, but Goran, PJ, Marcus, and I'm missing one. I'll think of it here in a minute. Channing might have been fourth. Anyway, it was like 4 out of the top 5, something like that. So, we do have good shooters in the roster. I know how hard these guys have worked all summer. Even guys like Markeith, who didn't shoot as many last year, has been working on his three-point game. Anthony Tolliver's, one of the better shooters in the league. If you look at the numbers from last year, he slumped a little down the stretch. But if you look at the numbers in, February, March, he was among the league leaders in three-point shooting and shot the ball extremely well in the workouts, the preseason workouts we've had here. So, we feel like our spacing will be good. We know those 3 guards that we just talked about can really create shots well for themselves and others. With that combined with, I think you'll see some improved offensive play from our center position. We have 2 young centers who finally got a chance to play last year, and I've seen a lot of growth from those guys over the course of the summer. So I think we'll be a very good offensive team. I think we'll be, hopefully improved defensively as well. And, I think with a healthy Eric, bringing PJ back, now that Miles has a year under his belt, and a healthy Alex, I think you'll see us improve on that end of the floor as well.
With Marcus and Markeith, maybe even you could just have somebody defend them, like right on them at the three-point line, because they're unconscious from like 16 to 18 feet when they got somebody covered. They're one of the best duos at closely contested shots in the NBA.
Yeah, they are. And it's tough. You can't take all of it away. Goran and Eric are terrific at getting to the basket and finishing. So what do you do? If you help off the guards as they're flying down the lane, you might give them a layup or, a lob to one of our big guys for a dunk. If you step up to contain the ball and cut off our guard and double him, he's got the dump off to Marcus or Markeith or Anthony Tolliver for an open shot, and those guys are terrific shooters. So, we do feel like we have a good number of options, good number of weapons offensively. It'll take some time to blend it all together, especially when you bring in a player of the caliber of an Isaiah Thomas. But those are good problems to have, and gives our coaching staff a lot of options, a lot of versatility.
I just heard you mention it before, so I'll ask the same question because we already talked with Lon about it, about the 5th year. If the 5th year was important to you on the deal, then why was the original deal 4 years, $48 million? Why was that only 4 years instead of the 5th year as reported?
Well, I guess there's not much in the media, so whatever does get reported gets taken as gospel. And in fact, it was a negotiation that took 3 months. So, whatever is out there, we don't comment on. We don't really confirm or deny or acknowledge it in any way. So I understand that makes it hard for the media and the fans to see what's really going on. But, we had dozens, if not hundreds of conversations with Eric representatives over the course of the past 3 months. There were a lot of offers and counter offers. We really valued having Eric in a Suns uniform for as long as possible. And we are projecting a significantly escalating salary cap here over the next couple of years. And so we feel like it's a fair deal for Eric, it's a fair deal for the team. And, we think as Eric grows and continues to develop, that it'll be a really good deal for the Suns and will allow us to hopefully build a championship team around him. And, we're keeping in mind the CBA and the salary cap rules and, what we can do going forward.
And then a couple things, you can use these against him however you want. But Isaiah thinks he's going to lead the team in three-point shooting this year. That's his goal. He wants to do that.
Percentage or attempts?
Not makes or attempts,
right.
But percentage.
Okay.
And then Tyler, when he was here doing his photo shoots at the beginning of the day over here, they had him dribbling the ball, and he lost his dribble and it went across the floor.
Okay.
So I don't know how that bodes.
Yeah, I think that's a couple extra laps for a young guy, for a rookie. I mean, just get on the line and go up and back a few times, But no, that's good. We have a good group, as you guys have probably seen. Spend some time with them, interacting with them. I think that's one of the reasons we had more success than most people anticipated last year. It's just, we have some guys who like being around each other. They're fun to talk to. They're a joy to deal with from a management perspective, from a coaching perspective, and that's what contributes to the chemistry, and I think has yielded some good results. So glad they're going out on a limb and making some bold projections, I guess, on your cast.
All right, sounds good. Well, hopefully I'll see you next Saturday.
Okay.
Flagstaff.
Yep.